For over 2 decades, Ellen DeGeneres was painted as the ultimate symbol of kindness, joy, and lighthearted daytime entertainment. But behind that carefully crafted "be kind" persona lies a web of shocking allegations, dark industry secrets, and disturbing claims that are now resurfacing in the wake of Hollywood's biggest legal scandals. According to comedy legend Hughley, the friendly dancing host wasn't just a bystander to the dark side of the entertainment industry. She was a high-level operator, an active accomplice who stayed silent while benefiting from the very system now coming under intense federal scrutiny. From her uncomfortably close relationship with Sean "Diddy" Combs, whom she playfully nicknamed Cuddle Mix Snuggle Stuff, to her public history of pressing young, vulnerable stars, the public image of daytime TV's favorite host is shattering. Industry insiders like Jaguar Wright, along with former child prodigies like Grayson Chance, have come forward describing an environment of micromanagement, manipulation, and discarded talent once their commercial utility faded. As internet sleuths and industry commentators re-examine old footage, her show is increasingly viewed not just as a daytime stage, but as a gateway to Hollywood's elite power structures. Was Ellen's signature charm simply wholesome entertainment? Or was it a strategic cover for one of the most calculated systems in media history? Let's examine the claims, the commentary, and the unsettling theories surrounding one of the most powerful figures in daytime television. To understand how a beloved daytime figure became central to such serious industry critiques, you have to look beyond the viral dancing, the star-studded giveaways, and the signature "Be Kind" brand. For nearly 2 decades, the Ellen DeGeneres Show sat at the very center of American pop culture. It wasn't just a talk show, it was an influential gatekeeping platform in Hollywood. Securing a seat on Ellen's couch could launch a career, sanitize a scandal, or cement an artist's place in the mainstream. However, commentators like Hughley argue that this daytime platform operated as a convenient cover for much darker industry dynamics. In his public commentary, Hughley has argued that major Hollywood figures cannot spend decades at the absolute top of the industry, mingling with its most powerful brokers, without understanding how the system actually functions. When federal investigations and explosive headlines began surfacing around figures like Sean "Diddy" Combs, critics pointed to the silence of his famous friends as a form of passive enabling. The relationship between Ellen DeGeneres and Diddy was notably close compared to typical celebrity interviews. Over the years, Combs was a frequent guest on her show, where the two routinely joked about private late-night parties, exclusive gatherings, and their off-camera friendship. Ellen even adopted a surprisingly intimate nickname for the music mogul, casually referring to him as Cuddle Mix Snuggle Stuff. At the time, television audiences laughed it off as harmless, quirky banter. But as federal raids and severe legal allegations engulfed Combs' inner circle, commentators began re-examining those television moments through a far more critical lens. Critics argue that by framing powerful moguls as playful, harmless figures, mainstream talk shows helped build an illusion of safety around individuals who held immense power over young, ambitious talent. When documentary projects and media sleuths began revisiting archival footage, Ellen's total silence regarding her past ties to Combs drew sharp public backlash. This pattern of dynamic control extended beyond adult moguls and into the way the show interacted with young, up-and-coming talent. One of the most documented cases of behind-the-scenes friction involves singer Grayson Chance. In 2010, Chance was a 12-year-old kid from Oklahoma who became an overnight viral sensation after a video of him singing Lady Gaga's "Paparazzi" blew up on YouTube. Impressed by his raw potential, Ellen immediately brought him onto her show, showered him with financial backing, and launched her own record label, 1111, specifically to manage his career. She promised his mother that she would serve as his personal protector and guide through the cutthroat music industry. Years later, in an explosive 2022 Rolling Stone interview, Grayson Chance painted a radically different picture of what actually happened once the cameras stopped rolling. He described Ellen as insanely manipulative, domineering, and blatantly opportunistic. According to Chance, she began micromanaging every single detail of his life, from his clothing choices to his creative direction, in an attempt to mold him into the next Justin Bieber. He recalled an instance where Ellen gave him an advance copy of Justin Bieber's Never Say Never documentary to study. When the exhausted 12-year-old didn't watch it immediately, Ellen allegedly called his mother and berated her over the phone, screaming about how ungrateful they were for the effort she was putting into his career. Chance stated that whenever her expectations weren't met, the supportive mentor turned aggressive and controlling. The Independent. The most damaging part of Chance's account came when his music sales began to decline. The moment his second project underperformed in 2012, the grand promises vanished. He claimed Ellen completely ghosted him, dropping him from her focus and leaving a teenager to figure out the industry alone after stripping away his normal childhood. Chance later expressed that while he was grateful for the initial exposure, he had to deal with years of PTSD and trauma from how he was treated behind closed doors. This dynamic was not an isolated incident. Observers have pointed to the show's recurring treatment of a young Justin Bieber as another example of boundary pushing. While Bieber was navigating the immense pressure of global stardom as a teenager, his appearances on the Ellen DeGeneres show frequently put him in deeply uncomfortable situations. Rather than offering a safe space for a young artist under public pressure, interviews often focused on pressing him for details about his romantic life while he visibly squirmed on camera. The most notorious incident occurred after leaked, non-consensual paparazzi photographs of Bieber on a private vacation in Bora Bora surfaced online. Instead of respecting the fact that a young artist's privacy had been severely violated, Ellen displayed the situation on a massive studio screen in front of a live audience. She pressed him to explain the photos and questioned him about his female companion while he tried to laugh off the embarrassment. Critics argue that powerful hosts often use their leverage over young stars to generate viral moments at the direct expense of those artists' personal dignity. Industry commentators like Jaguar Wright suggest these television moments reflect a larger, systemic pipeline. In her public breakdowns, Wright argues that mainstream daytime television often functions as an initial vetting system for young talent. Aspiring stars are put on display, tested for compliance, and monitored to see how well they handle high-pressure, invasive environments. Those who comply with the demands of the industry are elevated, while those who resist or lose their commercial value are quickly set aside. Whether viewing these situations through the lens of strict industry critique or broader cultural commentary, the narrative surrounding daytime television has fundamentally shifted. The pristine image of lighthearted comedy and unconditional kindness has been replaced by difficult questions about power, accountability, and what really happens behind the scenes when vulnerable young talents enter the world of high-level entertainment. The critique of daytime media platforms doesn't stop at executive overreach or the mishandling of young stars. It extends into a far broader narrative about how Hollywood handles controversy, personal tragedy, and its own internal history. When the public facade of a major personality begins to crack, internet sleuths, industry commentators, and former insiders often revisit unresolved stories with a fresh, highly critical lens. One of the most complex chapters tied to Ellen DeGeneres' past is her late 1990s high-profile relationship with actress Anne Hughley. At the time, their relationship was a massive cultural milestone, a rare, highly visible LGBTQ+ pairing at the peak of network television. However, following their sudden and public breakup in 2000, Hughley spoke openly about feeling blacklisted by major studios, claiming that her association with the daytime star severely damaged her acting career and pushed her to the margins of the film industry. Decades later, in August 2022, Anne Hughley's life came to a tragic end following a high-speed car crash in Los Angeles that resulted in a devastating house fire. In the immediate aftermath, footage captured by news helicopters showed Hughley being carried on a stretcher by paramedics, briefly sitting up and struggling as emergency crews moved her to an ambulance. She was rushed to the hospital in critical condition and later pronounced dead. In the wake of her death, online commentary exploded with speculation. Prior to her accident, Hughley had been vocal about her personal struggles, past trauma, and her work on various independent creative projects, including concepts exploring systemic exploitation and human trafficking. This timing led fringe theorists and internet commentators to invent extreme narratives, ranging from claims that her accident was deliberately engineered to wild rumors suggesting high-level sacrifices or bizarre cover-ups. While legal investigations and coroner reports officially ruled Hughley's death a tragic accident resulting from severe burns and smoke inhalation, the overwhelming spread of these extreme online theories revealed a deeper truth. The public's baseline trust in mainstream media figures and legacy entertainment institutions had completely collapsed. People were so primed to believe the worst about Hollywood's elite that even tragic, real-world accidents were instantly absorbed into dark conspiracy theories. This breakdown in public trust became even more pronounced following the tragic passing of Stephen "Twitch" Boss in December 2022. Twitch was brought onto the Ellen DeGeneres show as a resident DJ in 2014 and eventually promoted to executive producer in 2020. To millions of viewers at home, Twitch was the literal heartbeat of the set, the warm, energetic performer whose bright smile and effortless dance moves balanced out the show's high-pressure environment. He represented the purest manifestation of the be kind ideal that the show marketed to the world. When news broke that Twitch had died by suicide in a Los Angeles hotel room at the age of 40, the entertainment world was left in absolute shock. His family, friends, and colleagues expressed immense disbelief, noting that he had shown no obvious signs of severe depression or financial ruin in the days leading up to his death. While the official coroner's report confirmed the cause of death as a self-inflicted gunshot wound with no foul play involved, the public discourse quickly turned toward the workplace environment he had navigated for years. In late 2020, the Ellen DeGeneres show had been hit by a wave of explosive investigative reports detailing a toxic work environment characterized by behind-the-scenes intimidation, racism, and executive misconduct. Viewers and commentators began asking difficult questions about the mental toll placed on performers who are required to maintain a perfect, joyful public persona every single day while operating inside a high-stress corporate machine. Some online theorists even pointed toward Twitch's past connections to various dance organizations and talent networks like 7M, speculating about external psychological pressures. Regardless of the underlying factors behind his loss, Twitch's death added a somber, heavy shadow to the legacy of the daytime talk show. It reinforced a growing consensus among critics that the cheerful, dancing atmosphere presented on television was starkly disconnected from the intense pressures and realities experienced behind closed doors. To industry analysts like Jaguar Wright, these recurring tragedies and controversies are not isolated accidents. In her public breakdowns, Wright frequently argues that major talk shows and media platforms do not exist solely for wholesome family entertainment. Instead, she alleges that they function as strategic filtering mechanisms, controlled access points where powerful industry brokers assess an artist's value, test their willingness to comply with corporate demands, and determine who gets elevated to global stardom and who gets pushed aside. Wright points to historical figures like legendary music executive Clarence Avant, who operated for decades as a vital bridge between Black creators and corporate boardrooms, balancing cultural preservation with business reality. She contrasts that era with modern media ecosystems, where corporate consolidation has turned entertainment platforms into high-stakes corporate pipelines that prioritize profit and control over the well-being of the talent. Furthermore, the internet's obsession with unverified Epstein document leaks, elite social circles, and dark industry rumors has created a culture where every high-profile friendship is re-examined for underlying motives. When viral claims surface accusing legacy hosts of participating in extreme, bizarre practices, it reflects a culture that no longer views daytime icons as friendly neighbors, but as distant, protected elites operating under a completely different set of rules. When you stack these narratives side by side, a stark picture emerges. The official narrative, a pioneer of daytime television who built a multi-billion-dollar empire, brought joy to millions, and retired her long-running show after a historic 19-season run. The industry critique, a story of unchecked power, corporate manipulation, discarded young talent, and a host who used a brand of kindness to shield herself from accountability while maintaining close ties with the industry's most controversial figures. Ultimately, the fall from grace of daytime television's biggest brand serves as a powerful case study in modern media. It shows how quickly decades of carefully curated goodwill can erode when former insiders speak out, archived footage is re-examined, and the public begins to question what truly happens when the cameras stop rolling. When you piece together every fragment of this media puzzle, from D.L. Hughley's biting commentary to Grayson Chance's candid revelations and the tragic loss of figures like Stephen Twitch Boss, a clear thematic picture comes into focus. What began as a celebrated era of upbeat, lighthearted daytime television has transformed into a cautionary tale about the sheer speed with which the illusion of Hollywood perfection can disintegrate. For nearly 2 decades, the Ellen DeGeneres show wasn't merely an hour of television. It was an institution that taught daytime audiences who to love, what to buy, and which stars to trust. But as the entertainment industry faces an unprecedented era of exposure, the public is no longer looking at daytime television through a lens of unquestioning admiration. The core takeaway from commentators like D.L. Hughley and Jaguar Wright isn't just about one individual talk show host. It's about the silence of the entire apparatus surrounding her. In a business where power, access, and wealth are deeply concentrated, staying silent in the presence of questionable behavior has long been the unspoken price of admission. When major figures spend decades cozying up to industry titans who are later exposed for systemic misconduct, claims of "I had no idea" begin to ring hollow to an increasingly skeptical public. The internet age has made record-keeping permanent, turning old broadcast clips into evidence of how easily red flags were once turned into casual, televised jokes. This shift in audience perception has permanently altered how the public views the relationships between major talk show hosts and young, rising stars. The old perspective, a generous daytime host discovering viral talent on YouTube, offering them a global stage, and giving them the opportunity of a lifetime to achieve their dreams. The modern perspective, a high-stakes corporate environment where young, impressionable artists are brought into an intense system, molded for maximum viral profit, and left to navigate psychological burnouts or sudden abandonment once their numbers drop. The stories of Grayson Chance and Justin Bieber highlight the real human cost of treating personal lives as disposable content for ratings. When young artists are forced to endure boundary-pushing questions or watch their violated privacy turned into a punchline on national television, it exposes a fundamental power imbalance. Powerful hosts held the keys to media distribution, while young performers felt compelled to smile, perform, and endure whatever discomfort came their way to protect their budding careers. Furthermore, the overwhelming flood of online conspiracy theories, from the wild speculation surrounding Aunt Hetchy's tragic passing to the darker claims circulating about elite Hollywood networks, serves as a direct symptom of this broken trust. When audiences lose faith in the basic integrity of mainstream media figures, the vacuum is instantly filled by dark speculation. The public begins to assume that if the on-camera kindness was a facade, then whatever was happening behind closed doors must have been infinitely worse. Even the memory of Stephen Twitch Boss sits at the center of this cultural shift. As the physical embodiment of energy and warmth on set, his tragic passing reminded the world that a bright smile on a soundstage can mask incredible weight. It forced fans to realize that the vibrant, dancing world beamed into millions of living rooms every afternoon was a produced fantasy, one that existed in stark contrast to the high-pressure realities of the entertainment industry. Ultimately, the complete breakdown of the Be Kind brand marks the end of an era in daytime broadcasting. It proved that in the modern digital landscape, no amount of curated charm, corporate backing, or celebrity cosigns can shield powerful figures when the culture decides to demand genuine accountability. The legacy of this era stands as a stark reminder to both audiences and the entertainment industry. True kindness isn't a catchphrase to be marketed on merchandise. It's reflected in how people are treated when the cameras are turned off, the studio lights dim, and the dancing finally stops.